So far for your group, obviously a lot of opportunities for some guys who haven't played a ton.
A ton of learning going on, so just definitely a lot of opportunities for just really for some new guys stepping in and just kind of getting those reps. And it's been good so far, just because it's been been one really bright light so far that's been going on, and then been one light that's just constantly just kind of on a little bit, and then but things have been good. I'm definitely pleased at how the running backs are starting to come along a little bit, because before, it was a little bit different. We had a little bit of an older crew. They're able to do some things, and even with Ryan Wolpen, I'm going back to last year to where he was with the younger guys. Well, he was able to operate pretty fast, and now he's able to be with the Blues and kind of, the starters, and do a really good job.
Who or what's burning bright?
Ryan Wolpen,
Okay.
doing really well. He's playing very consistent right now. And then Rob Mahomes has been doing an excellent job too. I mean, he's still just a baby. I mean, he's still only been here for a little bit, and he's really learning a lot and really having to learn on the fly as far as those real bullets flying, because now it's like, okay, it's not scout team. He's really not getting yelled at for messing up, because it was scout team. Now he is getting yelled at, and everything's moving a lot faster. It's different from when you go from playing with the younger guys to the older guys, because they know what they're doing. They're moving faster, and he's one of those young guys.
With Wolpen, we've heard it seems like every spring and fall camp is kind of the time his name comes up, and then by the time the season rolls around, he's more of a special teams kind of guy. I mean,
yeah.
Is it more legitimate that we might actually see him get some carries this
I hope
year?
so. I really do. Before it kind of, he's really that I wouldn't say try hard guy. He's a guy who I feel like every single time, or actually I know, where his effort is really, it's second to none. I mean, his effort is unbelievable. But now really what we're starting to see is just the confidence more in his play. You're excited because of how hard he is playing, but there's still times where you can see the inconsistency. It might be, something where he screws something up, and then now it's like, hey, shoot, he's getting everything right. He's been a lot better on protection. At least he's going in the right direction this time. Before, instead of sometimes going so fast, it's like, oh shoot, I should have drove back on this protection. Now it's like, oh, I see it, I know why, and now he's starting to do it and figure things out. So he's been doing a good job.
Well, what's that say about him? He's a walk-on. Then he gets a scholarship. He kind of makes his mark on special teams. Now he looks like he's pushing his way into the more of the competition at running back. What's that say?
I think
about
it's
him?
just kind of him just kind of taking a breath and going, you know what, Coach really does believe in me. They gave me a scholarship. It's just kind of, getting rewarded for that effort all this time. And now he's like, okay, now I get to relax. There's really a true competition going in to this year. Last year, I would say more. We all knew Jeremy was the guy, and we're kind of trying to fill a backup role for him. And this year, there really isn't just a clear-cut guy. I think there's really an opportunity where everyone might have really a legitimate chance to see a lot more rotation earlier instead of later on in last season, like we saw with Alex and Jeremy that came up towards the end. And now you're like, okay, I have a lot of confidence in a few more guys to go in there and do some things and help each other out. That way we can stay a lot more fresher. Last year it was tough in the beginning of the season. I mean, if you guys would agree, whoever would want to take Jeremy off the field? You never want to take that guy off the field, ever. But now you're like, okay, there's some other guys that can do some pretty good things, and everyone's a little bit different. So let's figure out what they can do great, and let's mix it in and see what happens.
What's the biggest difference when you are rotating, say, 2 or 3 guys versus where you have the one guy that's the feature back? What are the positives of one and the positives of the other?
Probably, this is probably easier said than done, but keeping those guys engaged. So when you're rotating, you're going to stay a lot more engaged and ready to go. When you kind of know this is the guy, he gets the bulk of the carries and all the the plays, it's really hard because we're all human. You sit there, you start paying attention to other things when you're on the sideline, and you're constantly preaching as a coach, hey, stay engaged, because you never know when your opportunity might happen. So now it's like they kind of see, oh, Coach is right. I might not walk a little bit too far down the sideline because he might be calling my name. I better be paying attention to what's going on. So that's kind of what you see is guys are a lot more engaged, and you still have a pretty young group. I know Ryan is older. I know he's a senior, but still from an experience standpoint of actually playing tailback, he's still very young. And even Alex, he's young. Rob's young. And then when we get guys like Drake Beasley coming in, he's going to be young, and go from there.
So how does it differ? You got a guy like J-Mac and last year, and you're probably more just kind of like fine-tuning stuff, I guess you could say, to where now you're probably trying to really learn a lot about these guys that are trying to fill those shoes. So I guess
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shoot, you definitely. I mean, for J-Mac, it was fine tuning the whole time. Exactly what you just said. Now we're just trying to figure out who can be the most consistent. And then following year after that, then we can kind of figure out, maybe you can fine tune some of those guys. Maybe they have a lot more reps, and maybe not. It still might be, hey, who's going to be the most consistent? Who's going to play the hardest? And really, who's going to take care of the football and protect the quarterback?
With with a guy like Alexander, I know one thing that kind of came about him was how just kind of mature he was from almost day one.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of maybe kind of a funny question, but how do you develop maturity other than experience, or is it just simply the experience?
The funny part is he's really gaining a lot of maturity right now. He's really coaching guys. He's kind of really developing that role as him and Wolpen as, hey, I'm kind of the vocal guy. Let me, hey, we need to take a little more of a smaller step on that, coach. And sometimes, for him, maybe it might be specifically talking about one guy versus another guy. So he's really, you can kind of tell he's starting to grow up a lot. He's kind of taking on that role. You know what? I really want to be good. Ryan's really taking on the role. Shoot, I want to play. So I'm going to be fully engaged. I'm going to watch more film. Like those two guys, between Wolpen and Alex, those two guys are, they're working extremely hard. They're in the classroom, in the film room, a lot and really studying their playbook, and they know what's going on.
Have you seen Robert maybe start to adopt his mentalities?
Yeah, well, Rob is just like, because Alex played a lot and he was able to be down with us, Alex obviously has a lot more experience running our plays versus the scout plays, for example. So when you have that experience, right now Rob is like, all right, look, I'm just making sure that I know where I line up correctly, exactly what my assignment is, instead of now Alex and Ryan can sit there and go, all right, well, where's the blitz really coming from? Maybe I can start identifying things a lot faster. And maybe coach is talking about, hey, maybe put my weight here and not take a false step. So they can kind of start thinking about those little fine-tuning some things versus Rob, who's like, all right, I'm just trying to get lined up, ready to go. And in all honesty, he's playing really, really well too. As far as from fall camp to spring, there's definitely a difference in the way Rob is playing. So he's doing a good job.
I'm sure you'd like to find a guy like Jeremy that you can plug in, for all 4 downs basically if you wanted to. But, it sounds like, with the way the makeup is in your group and stuff like that, you can maybe find situational spots for guys and stuff like that. Is that how you maybe approach it? Would you like it to be that way? Or would you rather, I'm sure you'd rather have that guy.
Of course you want a guy like Jeremy. Who wouldn't? A guy like Jeremy or Ajayi or guys like that. But you know what? We've done a very good job of just kind of making sure we recruit the right guys. And shoot, Alex has made some big time catches. And Wolpen, shoot, if we all remember going back 2 seasons ago against San Jose, he had that big first down that kind of kept the drive going and kind of killed their momentum just a little bit. That's a big time play he had in a real, in a game situation. So, shoot, I just want to find a guy who's going to play hard and play the Bronco way, to be honest with you. If that means he has to come off the field for certain situations, that means he comes off the field. And we've done it here before, running back by committee and those things. So that's nothing new to this program.
I guess we'll find out for sure in the spring game and a couple scrimmages we get to watch. But it sounds like, at least right now, depth chart-wise, that Ryan may be ahead of Robert. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that is fair to say. Absolutely. Ryan is right now. When you see him run out there, he's rolling out. He'll be the first one to roll out there for sure. And then you're going to see Rob, and obviously he's going to get a heavy dose of a lot of plays, and he needs it so he can continue to develop. And then you'll see a little bit of some other people too.
Is that more of the mental part you were talking about, or is that just the overall package right now? Ryan, you feel like Ryan's a little bit ahead?
Ryan's definitely ahead. Ryan knows he just knows what's going on. It's just he's been here. He's done that for several years now, and now it's just time for him to really step up and be the guy that we can fully trust, and that's going to play consistently and know exactly what he's going to do.
With Robert, that kind of maybe, at least to me, is a little bit surprising to hear that, because a lot of people coming in just figured Robert would kind of, be the next guy. Is he? I don't know if behind's the right word, but where is Robert compared to where you thought he'd be at this point or coming in?
Well, Rob's still a freshman.
Yeah.
So, we all would love for guys to come in and play right away and be as great as we hope they will be. But he's still a freshman. He's still just a kid. So, and as far as experience-wise. So, for him, it's just to get as many reps as possible. That way he's comfortable, and he can play. Shoot, you never know. He might have to be in there for 15 plays in a row or 12 or 5, whatever it is. You never know. So, you know, for him, it's just the more we can get him the reps, the more comfortable he's going to be, which means we're going to be as coaches.
So the mental part, is that what his biggest thing holding him back right now, as you'd say? Or?
Yeah, I'll just say, just getting the experience. Absolutely. You know, physical. I mean, he definitely has some physical tools for sure. You know, I mean, there's no getting around that. But so just with him, it's just continue to gain that experience.
With, you know, we talked about Ryan, we talked about Robert, we know Alexander's out, but behind them you said some people.
Yeah.
What does the picture look like behind them?
Well, it's just, you know, just some people behind. Well, you got Drake coming in. You know, we have some other guys, Shaddix and Chris Hutchins, been around so a little bit, and then you never know, we might use somebody else down the line that you'll see maybe in the spring game. So we'll see. So.
Real quick, just a quick update on Alexander. I mean, I kind of saw him out there at the very beginning. I mean, wasn't doing much, but I mean, how much is he itching to do, and where's he kind of at in his rehab?
I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job, and I mean, he's basically doing all the individual stuff, and catching the ball, moving around, running. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff right now. So, I like where he's at right now.
Is that more than you anticipated? I mean, I'm going back, you know, not probably signing day maybe, but I think Harsh said that they didn't even really expect him to do much at all this spring.
No, I mean, he's getting out there doing a lot, so he's just not banging around right now. So, as you know, our trainer said, it's just he's healed a lot faster than a lot of people thought.
How has he kept his mass on throughout rehab too? I mean, especially dealing with a shoulder injury.
Just, I don't know, genetics, I guess. So, I mean, I hope, you know, a lot of people probably wish they can be out and come back and still look the same. So,
Has it been tough as an offensive staff to kind of gauge what you have on offense when you have all the linemen out hurt and you're missing Alex and obviously Cedric? I mean, is it hard to kind of see what you have going forward at this point in spring? Or?
Well, the exciting part is you're getting a lot of guys who really need the reps. You know, young offensive line. I mean, those guys need those reps. So, in my eyes, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Because if they weren't, who would be getting some of those reps? So you're forcing guys into situations where, you're really learning by trial and error. Like, you know, it's kind of like the little kid, you know, just putting your hand on that stove, you're gonna figure it out. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And that's kind of what being a young guy is. Like, all right, this works, this doesn't work. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, it's just running back. They're sitting there like, Coach, that does not work. I'm like, I told you that. I mean, if you would have listened to me the first time, then we wouldn't have had that problem. But it's to answer your question fully, you're excited because you do see what you have, and you see what you're going to be able to do eventually when everyone is back. So it's a good thing.